Well, hello. This is my first time streaming on YouTube and Watch Me Work. So, pardon me as I'm setting all of this up. I've got that there. And I just need to make sure this is streaming. Yes, it is. Let me get the share link. You can probably hear me right here. Okay, guys, this is my first time on Watch Me Work streaming, so thank you for your grace as I'm trying to figure this all out. But right here on the left, I do have a photo from my trip to Cornwall last summer. I just wanted to do something a little simple so that my mind can be a little bit more at ease as I'm doing something new. I tend to approach my pictures a little bit more like a sculpture rather than a drawing because I don't know. I like the fluidity of that. So I'm going to start off by sculpting the sky and creating the form right here, making the difference between sky and earth. You can probably hear my siblings getting water and singing in the background. Hi, good to see you. I'm doing well today. How are you guys doing? Okay. Have any of you guys worked with the new iPad Pro before? I'm still I've had it for just a little bit. Maybe it's even just been 2 months. I'm not even certain. But I loved, there's a whole mountain hiding behind there. Is there? Those are just the clouds. Wow. Okay. One thing I'm still trying to perfect is that how clouds have form, they have shape and dimension, and it's important for me to nail this down. It's been something, if you go to my Instagram, you can kind of see where I've been trying to practice that, even on overcast, cloudy days in my pictures. I'm just trying to make it look a little bit more dimensional, three-dimensional than anything. Because sometimes an overcast sky can honestly just look flat. Okay, let's look again at the overall picture. Now, Cornwall. I can't remember exactly where in Cornwall this was. but if any of you guys been there, it is such a beautiful area. I was visiting my friend Catherine, who just finished university a couple weeks ago, and her and her family showed me some of the most beautiful places in the region. There was this place where it was an old mine, but like they had mined out everything there, and so it was just this big ditch that was really bad for the environment. So what they did is they took that ditch and they turned it into a rainforest. Like they put a big dome over it, just like how we're wanting to see in like space exploration and stuff. Like put a dome over it just like that, and it created its own ecosystem. It even rains in there, which I thought that was pretty rad. There were some exotic birds flying around. It was really cool. I just want to keep my eye on the chat just in case any of you guys have any questions. Feel free to speak up. I might get a little distracted, but I hope to catch your questions. Okay. One thing I tend to not do enough of is shadows. I kind of shy away from them, so let's fix that today. It is my day off. I work retail, so I don't have the most consistent schedule at the moment, but they told me that they'll start giving me Sundays off, which I am thrilled about, having something consistent to look forward to. But my goodness, it is so good not going into work. This is so much better than dealing with guests or customers, as most people would say. And as I mentioned with the clouds, I've noticed I've done this with grass too. I've noticed I've kept things very flat, and so I'm trying to give the ground more of that three-dimension look. Like, we work on spheres and we work on these shapes, but then when it comes to actually sculpting out a landscape, we actually kind of ignore the fact that there's all these bulges in the ground, and it actually has form and depth. It's not just a big flat space, which is kind of nice about this stream photo that I chose for this morning. Like, you can kind of see that ruggedness where the stream is kind of eaten away over the years at this farmland. Then this photo right here in Cornwall, it was pretty close to my friend's house. I need to go back so I can actually go and explore it. It was about to rain, so we did not go for a hike up to the top of the mountain. But it's just open pastures, like free range. So there were like sheep everywhere. I was like trying to avoid some of the male goats, hoping that they wouldn't get too upset at me being on their domain. But it was so gorgeous. I really wish we could have hiked up to the top, because that was really cool. But I mean, it's always further than it looks. I realize I haven't shared any of this on my social media. I'll have to fix that next week. But you guys get to have the first look. That's exciting. Okay. Now, I haven't actually customized my Procreate too much yet. So I don't have a whole lot of like quick keys or anything. I'm needing to take the time and just like do that sometime soon. But that'll happen in time. But I am in love with this stylus. It is new. Like I mentioned, I've only had this for a couple of months now. And I've had old like Wacom tablets before, and they're pretty old. They had, a fairly good pressure sensitivity range. However, like, I don't know, they didn't have tilt. I think that was the major thing, not having tilt. And having tilt, I'm able to like shade with certain brushes, and it's quite beautiful. And I really do love this application, or app, I guess I could just call it. So you'll see that I very rarely, actually never use just a pure black. It's okay to use black, like, but I feel like we're often a little lazy in our color choices and often make our pictures look super flat by resorting to black for a shadow or anything like that. And it can often create like a black hole inside of your image, and that's never good. So I will often choose like a darker version of the colors I'm already working with, or even like the complementary color of those colors as well. And I did mention how I like to approach my paintings more like sculptures. Hence why I'm working on mostly one layer. Now I will work with other layers as I'm building up, because I tend to work on layers and then merge them downwards and then work on a new layer. And if I don't like what I'm doing on that layer, then I'll delete it. But I don't know. I don't think that's how most artists do it, but I think having worked with acrylics a lot, and like colored pencils, I'm more used to that commitment you have. Once as you put something down on canvas or on paper, you're committed to that, and I think we often lose that in digital painting. So I kind of make some of my family members who are also artists a little nervous by working only on one or two layers. When I look at what my brother does on his iPad, he's got like a layer for every bit of the drawing process and every part of the body of the person who's drawing. It's like, I don't know, a little much for me. And I also work in extreme high resolutions, which I believe with the resolution I'm currently working at, I can only have, I believe, 6 layers, which kind of limits me. I should probably lower that number a little bit, but I mean, I'm the only one that's really affected by that, really. So I wanted to make this a little warmer, but I think the yellow is too warm, so we're just going to go with a green instead of a blue. I'm going to make that lighter and just bring that back down. So I'm pulling out the purple, wanting to make those shadows a little bit more purple. I'm just noticing they're slightly more purple than blue over here. So pulling on that. And they do get a little bit more blue over closer to the horizon, but it is during most of the body, it is purple. So I'm gonna quickly share the link to this to my Facebook page, even though I'm like a third of the way through already. There we are. I have not eaten lunch yet, and I'm already hungry. So pardon how many times I might mention how hungry I am. I need to customize my brushes a little bit more. Just like I mentioned with the quick keys, I haven't customized a whole lot of the program for myself yet. I have not customized brushes yet, and I need to do that because, I mean, I'm using the same brushes over and over again because they work for me. However, it could get a little monotonous working with the same brush, same textures and everything there. So I hope to fix that soon. Also, I can download more if anybody has any suggestions for me on what I can use. was talking about the movie Hot Fuzz with my friend Steven. I've not watched any of the other movies from that series. I need to find them. I mean, probably the only way I can do that is just go to Amazon and watch them from there. But I've been hoping for them to be on Netflix like the other ones. I love overcast and rainy days. I mean, sunny days are fantastic, but I don't know, I think there's something nice about a gloomy day. It's beautiful today, but it's supposed to rain tomorrow, which, I mean, it's Memorial Day here in America tomorrow, so there'll be a lot of grilling out despite rain. But I don't think my family's actually grilling out, but we're gonna eat some grilled food. I don't know exactly what that means, but I love the chicken salad I'm gonna help my mom make tonight. It's gonna be good. So the pieces of the picture that are further off, I do incorporate more blues and grays in them. They're not going to be as vibrant as the aspects of the picture that are closer, just because of that aerial perspective that I'm trying to create. I realize now I keep turning the image so that I can better access that. I hope that's not too annoying for those watching in the live stream. But it makes it easier, and yes, I'm right-handed, so. Okay, so this is around the time I'll add in that second layer, just in case I make a big mistake that ruins everything that I've done. I'm going to want to make this a little bit more vibrant, because I believe at the time the sun was peeking out from the clouds and lighting up the fields in front of me, and the clouds were still casting shadows. It was just so pretty. I really do wish I could have explored more. Maybe I need to go back to England. I missed out on some of my friends' wedding this weekend. They just got married in Derbyshire. I'm so excited for them though. I love marriage, I love weddings and such. So I hope to see them soon and give them a late congratulations. But it was hard to leave work for that. I'm liking the vibrant colors I chose, because you can see in the photo they're not that vibrant, but I don't think photos, especially on an iPhone, aren't going to be capturing exactly what you see. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we do our art in this place, is that we're not exactly capturing things exactly as they look, but how they impacted us in the moment, or how they felt, and we're able to capture more colors, capture and exaggerate the emotions from the moment. So that's always fun. Ooh, I like this gray that I just picked up. It's a good gray. I'm going to dull these shadows a little bit and then come back later and darken them again. Because although we want that depth, we don't want them to be distracting or too harsh, because they are clouds. It's water vapor. It's a little bit more soft appearing. We don't want it to look like a dagger in the sky. Okay. And what I like to do is just kind of double check to make sure what I've added to a picture actually added and didn't take away to what was there before. I'm going to just add some more texture down here. These fence posts, I'm going to want to use a smaller brush just so I can get more of that detail. But once as I do that, it's going to demand a little bit more detail from other objects that are closer. So I'm going to do a lot of refining in this stage. keep it fairly loose though. Like as I was mentioning earlier, like the goal, at least when I approach a picture, is to capture more of what it felt like than what exactly it looked like. Because I have a photo of this moment, I don't need another exact representation of it. So I'm gonna keep it loose, but I do want to be fairly accurate, just so I'm not like destroying a moment either. I want to honor the moment. Sometimes people like to remove like fence posts or any evidence of people existing in their pictures. I don't blame them, but I think that adds kind of a sense of scale to understand how wide this plane is. And so as I'm kind of adding in these details, I'm adding more definition to the shapes I've already placed down. More of sharp edges. I'm going to come in here, pick up this color, and add in some of that shadow under that rock. And I'm actually really thankful that I've been invited to do these live streams, just because it's making me step outside of my comfort zone a little bit, and it's actually initiating something that I've wanted to get started doing, but actually haven't given myself time or energy to figure out how to do it, when to do it, and I don't always have something to say, but that doesn't matter. I'm just basically sharing my process. But seriously, I am thankful I'm doing this because I need to share more of the process of creating and actually figure out and verbalize exactly what I'm doing, because I think often we know things, but then we don't know that we know them. And so what might seem obvious to you might not be obvious to somebody else, or everybody has a different way of doing things, and so you can kind of learn from different people's techniques. So the program Procreate, I'm using this one because I've gotten a lot of, like, I did my research, and this was what most people have been using. This is what my sisters used for art. The name is a little awkward, I suppose, but It has a fantastic array of customization and also preset brushes. It enables the Apple Pencil to be at its best, and it enables all of the best features of the Apple Pencil. Because I've tried the things that Adobe's put out for the iPad, and it's just subpar to anything that they've even put out for anything else I've used. I used to use Photoshop CS3, so that's a while back. This program only cost me like $10 once, and I don't ever have to pay again. Right now, Adobe's doing a lot of those subscription programs, which I understand why people would be using those, because they're constantly being updated and you don't have to worry about needing to buy another version. You have it there, but I don't like the idea of having to constantly be putting out money towards a program. And I don't believe they have anything that's worth getting for the iPad Pro. I could be totally wrong, but the Apple Pencil is one of the best tablet pencils on the market, so I'm using it now. That's to answer a question for Mr. Arton. Have you used Procreate before? What? Okay, I just had a glitch. That was the first. One thing that England always made me think of was New England. Hence probably why they called it New England after England, because it made them think of home. Or they're just claiming the land for themselves, who knows. Okay, so there's this bit of a rock that I've kind of ignored. Not really noticed it. I don't want it to be the same color as the water, because the water is purely reflecting the sky, but this rock has its own color, and I don't want to fail it. Now that's a study I should do, is on rocks, getting the textures correctly, correct and such. I haven't done that yet. I've been doing a lot of cloud studies and attempting architectural studies, but I need to be more patient in the sketching stage when it comes to architecture. And as I mentioned, I like to more sculpt out my pictures rather than like draw them out, and that leaves you in a mess when it comes to architecture. So I definitely need to work on that. Yikes. The chalk brush that I was just using doesn't have very refined edges, so I'm needing to come in again and just make sure I'm a little bit more refined closer up and not as blurry. It wouldn't make sense for something further off to be sharper than what's closer up, unless of course I'm changing the focal point to be further off. This is a pretty wide depth of field though, so don't think that would be the case then. Pardon me. My cat just realized I was in the same room as him. A hero. I've been house sitting a chihuahua, and my cat has desperately missed me as I've been out of the house, and he's not been very happy with me, but I think he's happy. Oh, he's giving me kisses. I think he's happy I'm home now. I love this cat. I've had this cat for like 11 years. He is part of my family, and I love him. So, where is everybody from that's watching? I don't know if anybody's listening with sound. Again, thinking about England, and it's so funny. One of the guests at work yesterday, he was from Nottingham, and one of my team members was like, "Can you say something with your accent? I just love the British accent." And I think that's so funny, like, it's something that we have people do, is if their accent is different than ours, we'll just, like, say something. And it's funny to me because back in California, people would do that to people who had southern accents. Like, I'm living in the South right now. And it's weird to think about, like, what is normal to you is not normal to everybody else. And so you just saying something would bring such delight to somebody else. I think that's so funny. I wish I could speak in, like, New England accent. That's where I'm originally from. That would be so cool. But I can't fake it at all. I definitely can't fake an English accent. Sometimes I'll try and it sounds somewhat Cockney, but no. Trying to rough out this little bit of land right in here a little bit better. It's a little difficult. This is actually a picture I wouldn't have normally chosen to work on, but I'm kind of really enjoying it. Every now and then I'll try to do a little bit more of like an illustrative type of drawing, but I haven't done a whole lot of those recently. Like, dating back to my anime and manga days, my style has changed quite a bit when it comes to more cartoony styles. Definitely more Western, but not comic book Western. Like your classic American style, like it's very different. But I do love it. I need to do that more. I don't know if I'll do that on a live stream because I as I've mentioned multiple times, I like to mold and sculpt pictures more than draw them. But I need to get over that because it's important to plan out your pictures a little bit more. Now this kind of lighting is always so difficult for me to nail down the water because you've got such a heavy reflection going on, and it's hard for me to know whether I should be drawing on the reflection or drawing in the shadow that shows the rocks underneath. And I think it's like a weird mix of the two. And I see here, it's not as light as I've portrayed it, I guess. That might help a little bit. That might help. What about you here? I think that helps a little bit. It's too yellow. Let me get a little bit. No. Make that smaller and a little bit. Oops, let's make that smaller too and lower that opacity. That's a lot better. I could go for a Cornish pasty. That sounds amazing. Or Cornish tea, like a proper roast or even tea time, like with the different cakes and biscuits. That would be amazing. I do believe it is the cream tea. Okay, the cream goes first, then the jam. Is that the right way? I believe so. I side with the Cornish. I'm liking that a lot better. Still has some room for refining, but definitely a lot better. I can't believe it's almost been an hour already. Yep, that definitely added. Oh, this is such a fun landscape. Let's see, something I could add to here is pull out some of those rock details up on top of that mountain right there. She said that from up on top of that mountain you could see the ocean and see most of Cornwall. Which the ocean was like miles and miles away from where we were. I thought that was really cool. This is just in her backyard. I mean, like, we had to drive there, but she could walk here if she wanted to. She used to as a kid. Too bright for there. Still too bright. All better. That was nice. I like that. That looks good. Wow. I think, like, honestly, this will just be full of me doing refining pieces and it will be finished. Like, I don't need to nitpick on everything. it's just there's so many fantastic details that I could hone in on. Probably like refine on that water a little bit more. But honestly, I'm digging this. This is looking good. Probably could define a little bit more of this bank area right here. Wait. Okay. And I'm tired and hungry. I need to make some tacos soon for my siblings so they don't go hungry either. So I might have to leave you guys in just a moment. I hope you guys have enjoyed this though. Hope you've kind of seen a little bit more into my process and enjoyed this. So I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Sunday and have a great day.